In the news tonight, the foreign minister says Israel is committing war crimes in Gaza and Lebanon that the world has not seen for decades. Jordan strongly condemns deadly Israeli shelling on a school in the Nusayrat refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip that killed 17 people. And an Israeli strike kills 3 Lebanese troops in southern Lebanon. Good evening. Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi stressed the need for the international community to move immediately to help Lebanon meet the needs of more than 1.2 million displaced people as a result of Israel's war on the country. In a speech at the international conference in support of Lebanon's people and sovereignty, hosted by France, Safadi said the burden of meeting the needs of the displaced is greater than Lebanon can bear. He said it is time for the world to recognize the brutal and racist identity of the Israeli government. The foreign minister said Israel is committing war crimes in Gaza and Lebanon that the world has not seen for decades, and it must be held accountable for its genocidal wars. Safadi affirmed that the immunity provided to Israel by the international community has enabled it to violate international law and go on with its war crimes and ethnic cleansing. On the sidelines of the international conference, Foreign Minister Ayman al-Safadi held meetings with several of his European counterparts and UN officials. The meetings dealt with efforts to stop the Israeli aggression on Gaza and Lebanon, the serious escalation in the West Bank, the need for sufficient and sustainable aid to all areas of Gaza and Lebanon, and ending the illegal and escalatory Israeli measures against the Palestinian people. Jordan strongly condemned deadly Israeli shelling on a school housing displaced persons in the Nusayrat refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip, which resulted in the deaths and injuries of dozens. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Sufyan Liqda described this attack as a heinous crime that adds to the war crimes committed by Israel against the brotherly Palestinian people. He called it a blatant violation of international law and humanitarian principles and a systematic continuation of targeting civilians and shelters for the displaced. Qada emphasized that Israel shows no concern for the international will, calling for an end to the war and the unprecedented humanitarian disaster it causes. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency said at least 17 Palestinians were killed, including children, and 32 others wounded in an Israeli strike on a school in Gaza's Nusayrat camp today. In the northern section of the enclave, where the area around the town of Jabalia has been the target of a weeks-long operation, the Israeli military said it had evacuated large numbers of people. Meanwhile, occupation forces committed 4 massacres in the Gaza Strip over the last 24 hours, killing at least 55 Palestinians and injuring 132 others. Local health authorities confirmed that the Palestinian death toll from the Israeli onslaught since October 7th of last year has risen to 42,847, with an additional 100,544 individuals sustaining injuries. An Israeli strike killed 3 Lebanese troops in South Lebanon. The Lebanese army said the soldiers were killed as they were evacuating wounded people on the outskirts of southern village of Yaltar. Elsewhere, a security source said 2 people were killed in an attack on a vehicle on the main highway from Beirut to the Bekaa Valley. In northern Israel, air raid sirens sounded in Naharia and explosions could be heard as Israeli air defenses were fired to intercept Hezbollah rockets. Hezbollah announced several rocket attacks and said its fighters clashed early today with Israeli forces in the Lebanese border town of Ait al-Shab. The group said that they hit a Merkava tank that came to assist the troops after earlier saying it has destroyed another tank. Thank you for watching. Good night.